and welcome to today's podcast. My name is Carl Smith. I'm the business owner and coach at Concept Fitness Consultancy. I've got Big Mo with me today to share some insights in terms of how he's managed 2020 and maybe a little bit of his history as well. So look, I'm going to hand over to Mo as fast as I can, rather than take up a lot of the time wittering on. So Mo, how are you today, mate?
Yeah, thanks for having me here, Carl. I'm doing very well, thanks.
Good, mate. Good. Look, I say thanks for popping on today. I think that we had a quick chat offline about how you've sort of managed this year, and I think the viewers hopefully will find that you've got a lot to sort of share in terms of ideas maybe, and how you quickly adapted to sort of make things work for you. So look, let me pass it over to you then. So just let's just start from the beginning, so to speak. So tell us a little bit about why you first started as a PT. What made you want to be a PT in the first place, and how you went about it.
Yeah, my PT journey started at first with exercise for less. I've always been involved with fitness, and before I became a PT, I was actually a basketball player. So through basketball, then I see that I need something to go to get my physique ready for the game, because with the game demand, I was pretty much a skinny guy at the time. Then I felt like I need to build up. Then I'm like, the only way to build up is to get through the fitness, build up the muscles, and get me ready for the game. Since then, I've always fallen in love with the industry and how it enhanced me to develop my confidence and my self-esteem, because I used to be pretty much low in self-esteem. I used to doubt myself a lot. But through the fitness journey, it has helped me develop the confidence to be able to express myself and to be able to be myself. So which was good. And then after I started training few of my friends, and then meeting some of the PTs at the Pure Gym at the time when I was training. And I would speak to some of the PTs over there, and they would explain to me what the job involved and how the job is. And my friends would encourage me to be like, you'll be good at doing the PT job, because you always like to help people. You always like to show people what to do. So you should definitely go for it. I'm like, yeah, there's nothing to lose. Why not go for it? And then, so then I went and get my qualifications done, and then I went for it. So exercise for life since then have been the only place that I've worked at through the employment routine, and now being self-employed. So yeah.
Wow. So how long's that been now for you?
I've started working since 2016 August. So I'll just say over 4 years now, 4.5 years.
So interesting time frame then. What I just want to sort of mention this. It's difficult to tell on a Zoom call, but how tall are you, Mo?
I'm 6'7".
But 6'7", and the guy was short of confidence. But how many sessions a week are you? Well, let's go back to sort of the beginning of sort of January, sort of before all this sort of started. How many sessions a week were you delivering then?
Yeah, back in January, since we turned to self-employed, I've already got my clients with me at the time. So I was delivering up to 60 to 65 to 70 hours per week. Wow. And then I was running boot camp at the time, twice a week, the boxing boot camp, and doing classes as well. So I was usually pretty much fully booked all the time.
Wow. So that's a lot of hours. So how long did it take you from qualifying, or let's say starting your PT role, to getting to that kind of number?
To be honest, it definitely took me a few years. I would say 1 year, definitely 1 year, because my experience and expectation of a PT was pretty much low, and getting into the job, I had to learn my way. I had to learn so many things, and I do understand that at the time it would take me time to build my business to where I want it to be, and I was patient enough to be able to learn from other people around me with other PTs, and be able to learn from you, because sometimes you do have seminars whereby you come in and give us some tips and others like that. So which was quite helpful at the time as well. So having to get some knowledge from you and other people, I've been able to use that knowledge able to empower and help myself to be able to get to where I am now.
Brilliant. Well, look, 60 hours a week is immense. So how is that? Are you happy with that kind of level of? Is that where you're aiming to get to, or is that too much for you? How does that feel at 60 hours? I know that there's a lot of trainers I've spoken to have got up to that level, and then it becomes too much.
Right now, it seems it's okay. It's pretty much something that I'm comfortable. I'm good at, because I still work at Tesco. So I pretty much don't have much time in my hand. So
wow. So hang on. So alongside, let me stop you there. So alongside your 60-hour a week PT job, you're also working at Tesco. How many hours a week are you putting in there?
I'm doing up roughly 24 hours a week at Tesco. So most times I will finish job at Tesco at 12 a.m. and I'll have a client at 6 a.m. at the gym. So I'll probably have roughly 5 hours sleep or 4.5 hours sleep to get me ready for the gym. So I'm good to go.
Mate,
So
are you just greedy, or do you have an expensive wife? What what why all the hours?
yeah, that's a good one. It's just because I've got other plans, and because a lot of times I have to educate myself, and I need fun to educate myself. So most times the money that I got up from the PT and others, I can end up spending that again to get obtain another qualification to be able to get myself a bit of competitive edge over my fellow PTs. So right now I've done sport massage therapy, and I've done functional cupping therapy as well. So which means that I'm able to retain my clients. For example, if my clients get injured or get some tension build up or some fatigue and others, I'm able to find a solution to that problem by knowing what exactly is wrong with them and what muscles are causing the pain and where the pain is coming from and things like that. So I'm able to give them, if there's a need to be able to refer them to the physio or other professionals that I refer them to. But if not, I'm able to provide them the service. So it obviously means rather than going them to spend the money somewhere, they're able to come to me and I can provide them with that treatment that they need. And then which means that they can be able to go to their friends and tell the friends and family, and that bring a repeat business to me. So yeah.
Wow, wow. Do you mind sharing maybe a bit about your business model then? So if I think your standard PT model, maybe delivering one-to-one, and then you may have small group, you may have alongside that you may run a boot camp once or twice a week, you may have an online offering nowadays. What does that look like for you? Have you scoped that out so that you've got a model that presents all those options to people, or well, let me ask you that.
Yeah, for me right now, because the government have put a hold onto the group training right now, so which obviously mean that the option of running a boot camp is non-existent unless. My concentration level is pretty much the one-to-one and the sport massage as well. So to which obviously mean that the gap that's been left with the boot camps, I'm able to get that covered with the sport massage and the functional cupping therapy. So we obviously mean that I'm not leaving behind, and that giving more space to take people for one-to-one as well. So that's how I sort of like still worked. But going into 2021, I feel like my business will be a lot more out there because I'll be able to provide, how I say it is, morning I'll do my sport massage and functional cupping. Then evening I do my one-to-one PT with the boot camps and others. So I'm able to give myself that time to go to rest as well. Because one thing I found is this: previously I used to work the whole year and I'll only rest for 2 weeks. So
Wow.
I've seen I get burned out. Yeah, because last year alone, from January to December, I only took a time off from from December. That was the time I took the time off. So I've seen that the impact that have made on me mentally and the demand of it. So I'm like, okay, so how do I utilize my time and make sure that I come up with something that's going to give me time for myself, time for my family, and then yet I'm able to get my business going at the right time. So yeah, that's how I program for next year. So which I feel like it's going to work really well. So already I've done my pricing as well. So I get a picture, everything ready for the pricing and how I set my pricing package. So to which when people come in, that's what I'm just going to present to them and they have a look. So sometimes they have a complimentary massage over your block of your PT. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to 2021.
Okay, well, maybe there's been some positive there, that maybe you've had that time to sort of plan that, so to speak. So just talk to me a little bit about the boot camps, because one of the things that I certainly knew about you is that you ran a good boot camp. I remember the pictures that we'd see on the hubs and the curry nights, I think, that you used to have, sort of talking about nutrition, etc. And effectively really building a really strong community. Because one of the things that I definitely saw with your boot camps is that your renewal rate, the amount of your clients that would just do camp after camp after camp, and you could almost bank on probably 70-80% of your client base in one camp doing another one and doing another one. So to lose that revenue stream, and two, a piece of your business model, so to speak, what did you do with those people? I know you just didn't leave them. So how did you manage those people? Have you pushed them into one-to-one, or have you given them? What you tell me?
Yeah, most of the people that were doing the boot camp at the time, some of them are no longer trained at the gym, but those that are trained at the gym they've come back to now to one-to-one PT. So at the time with the boot camp, I've tried to create a community and whereby there's togetherness, there is a bond between each other, and I try to create a unity whereby with those that comes in, because for me, what allowed me to be able to be different from other PTs is my ability to be able to observe and help give support to individuals, even though they're in groups, but I'm able to give them individual support as well as collective support at the same time. So let's say someone comes in with who's low in confidence, little exercise experience, little stuff, because at first I'll tell them to introduce themselves, but introduce themselves, then you can see who is who and what they have, because that personality ethic, you can be able to see on them. Some people will hide themselves from the group, so you know that, okay, these are people who probably don't have that confidence to be able to come out and see. So at the end of the class, I'll go spend at least 5 minutes with them and try and speak to them and let them be open to me. Tell them how they feel about the whole situation. And I'm like, okay, don't worry. I'm here to give you the support that you need. Do what you can. Don't compare yourself to the next person. You're your own individual. You are on your own journey. Nothing compares to what you do. Concentrate on what you do. And if you need any support, I'll be here. And if there's anything, I'll always see you 5 minutes before the class to see how you are and how I can help you. So they will feel relaxed with me. And then with that, we just keep them be able to achieve the goal at the end. So achieving the goal, they're like, oh wow, I never knew I could do this, but thanks for making me feel this way. So you can see it that way, that person see you in a different way. And now that person is gonna go and speak to their friends and family, and that when they're gonna come and join, because it happens to my boot camp a lot. You see people coming in, once they come alone, then the next time they bring their boyfriend or they bring their girlfriend, and next time they bring their mom and their sister. So you can see that, because word by mouth is the most amazing promotion that's there, because people see how you treat them, how you make them feel. That alone is enough for them to bring other people in and be able to help them as well. So then the other thing is, I bring the peanut butter curry. So the peanut butter curry, that have done the tricks, because at the end of every camp, we're like, you've been on a diet for the past 7 weeks, the 8 weeks end of the camp, okay, what do we do? Let me give you a trick to treat yourself because you deserve it. You've achieved a lot. Then this day I was like, okay, let me try and cook peanut butter curry for them because before on a PT profile, they've seen it on my board and they're like, peanut butter curry, what is it? What is it? So everyone kept asking me, what is it? Then I'm like, okay, don't worry, I'll cook it. At the end of the camp, I'll cook it and bring it in. Then I'll cook it and bring it in, and that was it. Everyone kept talking about it. Then every end of camp, they expect me to make it. So
Yeah.
we obviously, other people say, is the most expensive curry because they had to pay at least £75 to £100 to have that curry. So sometimes some people come to me for the curry. They'll be like, oh, I heard you make curry. I'm like, yeah, I make curry. So, oh, wow, can I join your camp? So I can have it. I'm like, well, you can join the camp. Then they join the camp, they achieve their goal, and they have the curry at the same time. They'll book again for the next following camp. So which is good.
For the sake of a curry, it's definitely worth doing, mate. I say your camps almost became famous for making for that curry.
Yes. It does because again, is how you treat people that makes the difference. For me, is because it doesn't matter how good you are if you don't have the personality to treat people right or make people feel that they are something, you will never gonna achieve anything with them. They will never come back again.
Yeah.
You have to have that support and you have to be there because sometimes just text them randomly to say, how are you today? That alone can make someone's day. If they're having tough time, just say to them, you can come to me, you can speak to me, I'll listen. So there's sometimes a lot of time whereby a client will come in and I'll be like, how are you? So with that, how are you? You can see in their eyes that you're like, okay, today is not the day to train. Today we can just go and sit down and just talk. I'll listen. And at the end of the hour, they'll feel amazing. They feel like someone have listened.
Yeah.
So that alone is a good stress management. And that alone they see you in a different manner than just an actual come in and smash them and they go home. So yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think what I'm sort of hearing here as well is that what's supported you in growing your client base to where it is, and that's a huge number, is 60 to 70 hours a week. Is the very fact that you sound to me you're pretty open to speaking to almost anybody. You don't. There are some trainers that literally will only speak to their clients, and and effectively only if you're paying me that you're going to get that particular service. It sounds to me like you're like you become the go-to person in the gym if anybody wants to chat, and that chat eventually, because you invest in that person, will turn into a paying client, whether that's a boot camp or a PT. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Just because someone is not your client doesn't necessarily mean that you can just say hi to them. Because that hi alone, or paying them compliment or saying something nice about them, can actually make their day because you don't know what they've been up to, what happened to them the previous day, what they've been up to, or things like that. Just saying hello, welcoming someone to that gym, they feel the environment, they feel that we belong here, and that alone can make them stay with the fitness journey.
Yeah,
because some people like the confidence.
It's that community aspect. It's that what you're talking about. It's probably one of the most important sort of pieces of growing a client base to that kind of number. Is you have to build a really strong community, which is what you've done. So no, really good words.
Because your first point of contact when someone needs a PT, it is you, because you are the one they see.
Yeah.
On the floor, that interaction that you have with them. If they need anything, you are the one they're gonna come because they see you, how you train your clients. They see you, how you interact with other people. And if there's anything, they're gonna come. I'm like, sometimes people come to me, I'm like, how do you know about me? Then they were like, we see you around the gym, how you interact with people and how you are as a person. So I'm like, okay, oh, I didn't know that. Thank you very much. So it's like, it means something to someone. And they always see you as, someone to go to if they need help. So you can, that's how definitely, for me, to the business, it's not just about the money. It's about helping people achieve their goal. So my time it's a good time that I can be able to give out to anyone to help, which is good. Yeah.
That's why it's so busy. So, what do you prefer to do? Do you prefer delivering group sessions, or do you feel like you get more out of people on a one-to-one? How does that look?
For me, to be fair, one-to-one allow you to be able to work with people on a personal level. You're able to get more out of them in terms of that one-to-one group. But again, you can be able to get in a group way. Like I said before, I'm able to work with people individually as a group, even though they are part of a group. But I can be able to work with them on the strength level, with their strengths and weaknesses, because I'm able to spot them out. So which means when I was running my boot camp, that's one thing I pay attention to. I'll go around. I'll not just stand at one place, but I'll go around looking at every individual,
yeah,
who's within the group, and I make sure that they all are doing the same. They're all doing the exercise, performing the exercise correctly. And if they need any assist, I'll assist them. I'll show you how to do it, and then allow them to go again. So, which obviously means that they're able to achieve that goal together with one-to-one. So you want to make sure that you build up the foundation, build up the client confidence, and be able to see the result at the end. So before that, even with the group, I'll make them to stand, talk about the nutrition aspect before the class, making sure that I ask every individual how they are, to keep them accountable for what they're making sure they're keeping their nutrition. If they're not doing it, then I won't say anything in front of the group, but I'll wait until when the group is gone, and I'll speak to them individually and say, why have you not done it? What is the problem? You need any support? You need any help? Then rather than talking to them in the group and make them feel down, keeping them aside and speak to them afterwards, it's like, okay, you respect my privacy. So what is the problem? Can I help you? What can I do? Rather than shouting, you try to understand what's actually behind it. If they're stressed, how do I solve what's the cause of the stress? How do I solve it out? So a lot of people concentrate on the physical aspect of the things, but for me, I feel the mental aspect of the things, that's the most important, because there are so many reasons why people eat food. Is it because they're lonely? Is it because they're bored? Or is it because they're eating based on emotions? So if you try to understand those needs and the reason behind it, then you can be able to solve that. And then with that, the result is just there. Because with some of my clients, that happened, and we've been able to sort it out that way, and then the result is just amazing. And they're still working with me till today.
I think, well, you tell me, would you recommend to a new client, a new personal trainer, sorry, that they should eventually have their own boot camp for a number of reasons, or would you suggest that actually one-to-one is what you train for initially? That's what your qualification has effectively readied you for. Just stick to one-to-one. What would you tell a new trainer?
My advice to the new trainer is like, don't just stick to one mode of training. One-to-one PT can be for some people. One-to-one group PT is for other people. Let's say some people are confident enough to just come in to train by themselves, or just to train with you by themselves. They want that good atmosphere. Some people feel up with a good atmosphere. Some people feel up with some people are comfortable doing the one-to-one alone. So when you come in as a new PT, just go for the two. Don't try and differentiate it. Make sure that, because they both generate revenue for you, and it depends on how you work with them, that will sell. Because sometimes the group bootcamp can feed your one-to-one, because when they feel like at this time they've outgrown the group because with their fitness level and others, and you can tell them, okay, how about you come down to the one-to-one PT? With that, you're already advanced stage. So we do advanced program for you, because at the group, there's different level of fitness. So some people sometimes because sometimes I'll do a survey with my group PT, with my group bootcamps. I'll write a survey down, 10 questions, give them out for them to fill it up. They will fill it up and they'll come in. And some of them will say they feel like some of the exercises are not that tough, challenging enough. I'm like, okay, because the group environment we have different fitness level. Some programs are designed for people of lower level, intermediate, and advanced. So you might find some exercises easy, you might find some such exercises are challenging, and so you might find some exercises too hard. So, which means that we're trying to work together for everyone. So if you feel like we can be able to help you further, why not we do one-to-one PT? They were like, oh, that's a good idea. Then we continue with the one-to-one PT, they're able to see more results and more challenges. So which definitely happens with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes one-to-one, let's say when I was doing the boxing boot camp as well, so some of my clients from the one-to-one, they come down to boxing boot camp and they've been able to enjoy the boxing boot camp, which was really good. So they were still doing the PT, but doing the boot camp at the same time to try and work on, and which is good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely as a new PT, when you come in, go for both. Don't differentiate any until when you get the experience and feel like this is what works for you to specialize on something, then specialize on that one. But for a start, try and get the experience first by working with both.
Cool. Good,
Yeah.
good advice, mate. Good advice. What courses? Are there any particular courses that you've done or that you would recommend to others? To either, well, yeah. Are there any particular courses that that you would recommend?
Yeah, for me, I'll definitely say nutrition. Try and get your nutrition qualification because it's very, very important. And it's one of the key elements in terms of achieving a client's success, client's goal. Uh, Try to understand the aspect of nutrition, the key to getting, because when you look at it, and whoever comes to you, either it is building muscle mass, either maintenance, either weight loss, nothing goes beyond food. The food is the basic foundation that needs to be built first. So with a good nutrition background, nutrition qualification, it allows you to work with anyone and everyone. Because then the rest come as an extra. Exercise an extra to the nutrition. So what as they say, you can never out train a bad diet. If the diet is bad, it doesn't matter what you do at the gym. You can kill yourself when you go home. You burn 500 calories. You ate 1,000 calories. You're in a surplus. So your exercise is not necessarily zero. However, your aim of what you're trying to achieve won't achieve in that way because you're eating more than what you need. So definitely understanding the need of nutrition helps.
Yeah. What's your advice on potentially overcomplicating it for people? Your average client potentially wants to lose weight, has no real interest in doing a nutrition course and understanding nutrition to the level that you know. Do we need to start talking about macros at this point, or really is it just about calorie deficit?
For a new client starting with you, it is important to educate them the importance of eating healthy. Don't give them that word diet, because to some people, when you say diet, they just goes like, oh, I'm starvation, or that. Make them understand the importance of eating healthy. Make them understand the importance of building a eating habit. Because for me, what I try to explain to them is when something is habit, it's part of you. When it becomes a lifestyle, then you're able to sustain it for a longer period of time. Then you don't have to think about either you're on a diet or you're not on a diet. Ask yourself this question: when I'm start this, is this something that I can be able to do over a period of more than 1 year? Or am I just doing it for a short period of time?
Yeah.
So looking beyond that, allow it to be a habit to you. So when they come to me for their nutrition and orders, first thing I said to them is keep a food diary for me, a 7 days food diary for me, or 3 days food diary for me. Write down everything that you eat, bring it to me, and start sending me pictures of your meals that you have. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh. So they're not, because I'm like, if you're not ready to send me pictures of what you have, then how do we know what you have? Because sometimes we just eat, but we don't know what we're having, with the amount of that we're having. But when we see it, then we become conscious of what we put in, because it's important what you put in your body. So with that, then I'm like, okay, we're gonna come over again, then we go over everything. Then you're able to see they're like, oh wow, I never knew this is what I used to have before. So to make clients understand and build a good relationship with food is also important, because when you look at other people, coming in during their childhood, they never have that bit of like a good relationship with, let's say, for example, vegetables. Yeah. So try and tell people eat vegetables. They're like, ooh, I don't like tomatoes. I don't like cucumbers. I don't like broccoli. So how do you get that person to change that mindset into thinking that and get them to try something new that they have not tried before? So that slow process is like, okay, we can try something slow, not necessarily too quick, because you're on a journey to get to where you want to be. So
Yeah.
let's start try to understand things slowly and just try and build up from there. Yeah. So obviously we're going to start from A by changing certain things within what you have, but we're not going to make a drastic change over, because the studies have shown that uh, almost 85 to 75% of people who start diet, they give up after 2 weeks. So to make someone not to give up, make it basic. Allow them to understand the need of food, what they're having. Allow them to educate themselves. Recommend some Netflix videos and others for them to watch. Get them. Sometimes I'll go down to the internet, check on certain articles about food and others, then send it over to them. I'll read it, send it over to them for them to read, to allow them to understand, educate them. Then they're willing to make that change slowly. Because when you make someone to make that decision themselves, they're able to they're gonna stick with it long time. But if you make the decision for them, they will back off from it because they feel like they haven't been given the chance to speak or the chance to make the decision by themselves. But
Yeah,
you make
no,
the decision for them.
it's effective coaching, isn't it? By coaching somebody with their nutrition, they make the decisions for themselves. You're making suggestions to them that are actually theirs. And it's almost, I suppose, what you're saying is a bit like the old teach a man to fish, and he'll feed himself a lifetime, as opposed to giving the man a fish to eat for the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What about? I mean, what I've always noticed as well is that you asking someone to track their nutrition, which you're doing it by asking your clients to take photographs of the food. There's obviously MyFitnessPal out there as well, where as soon as that client starts to track their nutrition, they become more conscious of what they're putting into their body, and then suddenly they make better choices anyway. So do you use anything like that? Do you use MyFitnessPal? Do you use any sort of other bits of tech to sort of support you with your business?
Yeah, I do recommend MyFitnessPal. Previously with Exercise for Less app, nutrition app, I do recommend that too, because that was linked to the coaching app that we
Yeah.
used to use before. So I was able to see most recently. I've got them to use MyFitnessPal, which I'm able to explain how it works and what they need to do at the end of every day. So they'll be sending me the pictures of the food, but then they'll be sending me the summary of the food and from the MyFitnessPal from the nutrient side. Then we're able to go through. If they're over something, then we're like, okay, we're over this, but let's just try next time. We try and be like, make a bit, try not to go over the next time. And just talk to them in a way that they'll understand and not to feel as if they're trying to criticize them, but make it feel like the need of changing is it's going to take time, but we will slowly get in there with time. So yeah, I'll definitely use MyFitnessPal. I do use MyFitnessPal a lot, and I do use the coaching app as well to go to
Through
get them
Virtue
there.
Gym, wasn't it? Through Virtue Gym. Yeah,
Yeah.
really useful tool. So let me take you all the way back to January again, or probably March actually. So, how did you navigate your business through this tricky year? You just gone self-employed in January,
Yeah.
and then a couple of months later the gyms are shut. So how did you
Mhm.
make that sort of work? How did you adapt? And did you adapt quickly, or did it take some time? How just talk me through this year, but if you don't mind.
Yeah. For me, I think my biggest advantage is the ability to adapt to change. Because I understand when we're at the employee time with Exercise for Less, there's been so many different changes along the way that took place over time. And at most, I've been able to change and adapt quite quickly. So when the government announced that saying that we're going into lockdown, then I sat down rather than saying, "Oh my God, everything is over." I just look at it as a positive, because whatever you feed your mind, that's what goes with it. So always try and think positive of what it is and just go. So from there, like I said before, I start speaking to my clients of what they would like. I start asking them questions. Will they be interested in having a Zoom PT or online PT one-to-one? And will they be interested in the HIT class online? So the feedback that I got was really, really positive. That I'm like, okay, this is a good way of using online and still generate income while helping them to retain. So I'll still text them on site. I'll still write program for them, challenges for them, and then send it to them. And I'll still be following up, keep them accountable, and check on them to see if they've done it. If they haven't done it, I'm asking them why haven't you done it, and then they will tell me the reason why. So from there, then up to when the government allow us to go to do, I think that was July, August, they allow us to go to train outside. So then already I bought two stocks. I bought few equipments before the lockdown. Then I had that because I've got the battle rolls, the bar, the kettlebells, the dumbbells, and everything. Then I was able to travel to meet clients outside. So I was still meeting people online and still be training them outside at the same time. So which was really good. So I was still up to
where did you train them outside? Because I know that some people have struggled with, so the government saying you can use parks, and then the council saying no, you can't. So where did you train people?
Yeah, I think some parks you're not allowed to train people there, but I was able to train people at the certain park in Edinburgh. So which was pretty much good. So I was training them most at their park. That was good, yeah. Or some people at their back garden. So you go to their back garden, they have the back garden open space, and you just take them there and just train.
I think I suppose we were quite lucky in one respect that we had a pretty good summer, so that the weather was conducive to training outside, I suppose. It's now getting a bit colder. Are your clients still happy to continue training outside, or have you've moved back into gyms? I'm not quite sure where you're at right now. Are your gyms open, are they?
Before, I think, before the autumn starts, I was like, okay, we're going into winter. The place is gonna get cold. It's gonna get dark and all this, and how are things gonna be like? But then the government announced the gym is gonna open, and I'm like, okay, good. So then I was able to get the transition from the online down to the gym, because most people feel motivated and be able to give you more through face-to-face than online with most of the people that I work with. So they were able to bring it online into the gym environment. They were able to train. So all of them came to me back. Even some new clients also came as well. So back to the to the gym environment. But then when the government announced again for another lockdown, then I was able to get the transition again from gym to online as well. So continue training them. So which was really good as well.
Perfect. Yeah. So you basically just flip from one to the other as
make it work for everyone. Yeah.
Brilliant. And how many of your how many sessions are you currently doing? If you were doing, I think you said between 60 and 75 sessions a week in January, how did that look now? Have some people dropped away because they just didn't want to train outside, or have you built it up?
Right now, again, because the government has announced lockdown and it's Christmas, so it's like people have got other commitments outside of the PT, that which is like trying to get themselves ready for the Christmas and others. So far, I've got at least half of the people still working with me.
Okay.
The rest took a time off just to be able to spend some time with the family and others, and be able to get some time for the Christmas. But once that one is over, then everyone is coming back again and just able to continue online. And until the gym are allowed to open again, then we're back to the gym environment again.
And are you still working right now? I mean, I presume you are at the minute, but you alluded earlier that you took 2 weeks off last year. When are you having your 2 weeks this year?
No, this year, because with the lockdown, whenever the lockdown happens, okay, that's the time that I take the time. I'm like, okay, now at this time, I can utilize it to learn. That's when I went over to get my sport massage therapy qualification.
Yeah.
And then another lockdown, I went over to get my functional cupping therapy qualification. So I always try to make sure that I utilize the time that I've got to make sure that I use that time to obtain new qualification that's going to make me to offer more. So as much as I still continue training clients over there, I still online, so I still have that time to be able to educate myself and be able to have more, because the more you educate yourself, the more you're able to provide better service, quality service to your clients. So which in turn makes repeat business, which I definitely feel, because the clients can sense either you're guessing or you know what you're talking about, because they can definitely say it from you, because you can never guess that. They'll come up with certain questions and you have to answer it in a way that you know. So when you're not educated in that aspect, it's going to be difficult to tell clients or educate them on certain matters. So definitely, as much as it is, whenever lockdown happens or anything like that, as a PT, you have to continue learning. You have to continue educating yourself, because my next target is to go into doing sports psychology.
Okay.
Yeah. So because it's something that I see the importance of fitness industry right now, and the reasons why people do certain things, why do they do them, and how the reason behind it. So it's definitely something that I feel like it would help me really well to understand certain things from a client and be able to help them and give them the better quality of service they deserve. Yeah.
Cool. And what's the most positive thing that's come out of 2020 for you?
2020, I would definitely say the adaptability anyway, the ability to adapt to change. It's been hard for everyone with the coronavirus. On my personal level, it's been challenging. However, I still I try to continue doing things, be able to spend time with the family, because that was something that I never used to have before, especially my kids, because my kids love having me around at home. And sometimes when the lockdown is over and I'm back to work again, even though I do online classes, I'm back to the gym. They're like, "Oh, Daddy is going back to work again. Oh no, you're not gonna see him again." So you feel that guilt within,
Yeah.
because as much as you want the money, but then the kids need your time too. So the family life and the work life, how do you separate them? How do you make them work at the same time? So it's a challenge. But then, even though it is hard in terms of financial aspect, I've gained the time to be able to spend with my kids.
Yeah.
So the which is like it's a very massive thing, and you're able to see certain things in them. You're able to do so many other things with them that you never had the time to be able to do before. So they grow fast. If you have the time to work with them, do certain things with them, go. Because my daughter will say, "Daddy, I want to do gymnastics." My son will say, "Dad, let's go play football." So it's like they need that time from you to be able to train them. As much as you train other people, they want you to go to show them how to do certain things. So which is good. That spending quality time with the family, I would say that's a big one that I would definitely appreciate from them, because I know how busy I am, and
Well,
anytime that I can spend
yeah.
is good. Yeah.
100 hours a week effectively is very busy, mate. So,
It is.
um,
It is.
well, look. I'm conscious of time, but I do want to ask you one final question. But before I do, I just want to say thank you for popping on today. I think that there's lots of useful things that you've shared today. So thank you again. But final question would be that if there was one piece of advice you could offer the personal training community right now, what would that be?
I would definitely say utilize the time to educate yourself. Remain patient. Um, yeah, I'll definitely say utilize the time to educate yourself. Remain patient. Be proactive. Engage yourself into something that's going to allow you to grow your business into next year. Have a plan out. Write a business plan. Keep yourself active with maybe getting a website done. Um, getting attending seminars, or again trying to work with coaches, mentors, like people like yourself, to be able to help them know how to generate stuff. Because it's important to educate yourself, it's important to look for help, it's important to seek advice, and always be able to develop yourself. So for me, on personal level, I would definitely say I always look for ways to develop myself, both mentally and physically, to be able to give better service to people. So I'll definitely say educate yourself more and make sure you utilize the time that you have, because when you become busy, you then appreciate the free time you used to have before. So make the best out of it. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Well, appreciate it, and thanks for popping on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.